Y'all know what time it is. So here we are. That voice crack did not just happen. So here we are. We are revisiting Transit in 2024. Why? I don't know. I just kind of felt like it. I've made many videos on Transit in the past, and in every single video, I've always mentioned how, you know, everybody always dunks on Transit, but I'm one of the few people that even since this map launched, I've genuinely just always loved this map. Even back in 2012 when everyone was dunking on it, even back through the entire top 5 area where it was #1 on everybody's top 5 worst zombies maps, I've always loved this map. There's a few reasons for this. One of the first being the fact that this map introduced buildables. I always thought the buildables were such a cool idea in zombies. Being able to like roam around the map, it almost made you feel like a scavenger, right? Like you were going through all the nooks and crannies of the map, like, oh no, where are the parts at? Then you find them, you're able to build things, whether it be like adding parts to the bus or building things like the turbine or traps, which then obviously led to things like us building like the Asagat kit in Mob of the Dead, or the Sliquifier in Die Rise, or the Trample Steam to make one of the most broken camping setups in Buried, or the Staffs in Origins. And then we have the main gimmick of the map. The bus. I have always loved the bus. Just the idea of getting on this bus, whether you do it alone or whether you're with your friends, things can either be as peaceful as they are now, where it's in between rounds and you know it's just gonna be like a nice bus ride, you're here with your homie Ted, or it can be absolute chaos on round 30 with zombies swarming the bus to a point of where you can't even move without getting hit. Everybody's like screaming and it's all chaotic. I've just always loved that dynamic on this map. There's just so many different elements to this map, because you don't even just have to take the bus. If you want to, you can take a risk and you can just try to run through the fog if you know your way. And the thing is that can actually reward the players that have taken the time to learn the map, because for the noobs, they're going to be trying to run through the fog, they're not going to know what they're doing, and they're going to die within 30 seconds. Whereas the pros can actually get around the map a lot faster if they just skip the bus entirely and run around the entire map, but that takes a lot of map knowledge, because obviously when you're running around the map, I mean, you can't see anything, which then leads to a whole other world with like speed runs and this, that, and the other, but that's a conversation for another day. Now, the only knock that I've ever given against Transit, and still give Transit to this day, is the fact that the weapons in the box were just, I don't know, there's something about the weapon variety. Like, for the weapons that are amazing, they're amazing, but for the weapons that suck, SMR and War Machine, why do you exist? Are any good parts inside of here? Oh great, this is one of the times where there's not any parts in here, which means we're not gonna get into the final part until we're all the way at the town. You see, I could spin the box again, but I really just want to save my money. Not like I have a choice because the bus is leaving. That's another thing I'll say about the bus, man. Sometimes it leaves just a little too fast. I always thought it would be really cool, and you know, I'm not the first person to say this, but I have always just had this idea. I feel like everybody has had this idea, but if this map had something like Die Rise, where like, obviously on Die Rise, if you pick up a key and then you put it into the elevator slot, like you're able to call the elevator to you, it would be really cool if the bus had something like that, because obviously you're not restricted in where you can go on the map at any time. Like if you want to, you can just say screw the bus and run around, but it would be really nice if there was like, say, inside Easter egg you could... See, this is why you should... I don't even know what I was doing right there. I wasn't focusing on the game. Next thing you know, I go down. I thought I was safe. I mean, I don't know. Where did I even get killed from? There's no zombies outside that... Wait, okay, now I'm actually really confused. I was over here and died. There's no way the zombies from over there hit me. Well, that was a little strange. But whether it be like a side Easter egg you can do, or maybe it's just like a simple part you could find, or why? I don't even understand where I got hit. Like, what? You know what? I know the video is called Revisiting Transit, but what if we just skipped to round 10 on town? It's still a part of Transit. I'm not cheating. It's not clickbait. It's actually a good thing that we dived into this map, because as soon as you spawn in, obviously the pack-punch machine is right there, and originally I wouldn't have thought to talk about that, but yeah, that is another big point of contention for Transit. Ooh, look at that. Ray gun first spin. Trying to pack-a-punch on Transit literally requires like a PhD from Oxford. You gotta run, turn the power on, make sure that you have a fresh turbine, and even if you have a fresh turbine, it's not guaranteed that this is gonna work. You have to drop the turbine down at the entrance of the power station and then run or ride the bus all the way to the town, blow up the bank vault, blow up the second door behind that, and hopefully the pack-a-punch door will be open, and then if it is open, then you have to go down, scavenge all the pack-a-punch parts. Whoa, look at that graphical glitch. I don't know what causes that. It happens all the time when I play this map. Build the pack-a-punch, and even then, once you build the pack-a-punch, that door isn't gonna stay open. So if you want to pack-a-punch again, you can't just run down there and pack-a-punch like you would in literally any other zombies map ever. No, you need to run the whole way around the map, get another fresh turbine, put it back in the power station, run back to the town, and hopefully the door will be open, and if not, you gotta do it all again. Now, thankfully, as long as somebody stays inside of the pack-a-punch room, it will never close, but that's the thing. Who's gonna stay inside of there for, like, the entire game? I mean, granted, I've done it because it is a decent-ish enough camping spot, except there's not really any escape routes if you get crowded. So, yeah, that is a potential knock against the map. Oh, and then we also have the jet gun. The more I talk about the map, the more I realize why I got dunked on in the past, but I still love it. But arguably the best thing to come out of Transit wasn't the map as a whole, which don't get me wrong, again, I still love Transit, and this video was kind of like a defensive Transit while also simultaneously playing Transit, or at least I was supposed to be playing Transit originally, but then I kind of just, you know, didn't really feel like starting with another game, so now we're on town. But rather the parts that make up Transit, those being Bus Depot, Diner, Town, and Farm. Now, unfortunately, we never got a dedicated Diner survival map, which we did kind of get later on in Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies through the map Daybreak. But I mean, that in itself, you know, we did get access to Diner with DLC 1 with the turn mode. I'm absolutely terrible at this game. What is I blame keyboard and mouse. I'm a controller guy. Everybody knows this. So let me just say, turn was so much fun. And that's another thing that's like, it's so sad that a lot of those side modes that were introduced with Transit, like Grief and Turned and all that, never ended up returning, because that's another amazing thing that Transit gave us, which was Grief. Like I said, people always give Transit a lot of flack, but the thing is, when you're looking at Transit, you gotta look at Transit as a whole. Transit is the full experience, but then Transit also gave us many other spin-off experiences, like again, Town, which I know is a lot of people's favorite survival map in Zombies history, mine included. And then we got Bus Depot, which was super stripped back, almost like Nocturne and Toten, and then we got Farm, which was like an in-between, sort of like a Varrook / Shino Numa type of map, where there isn't Pack-a-Punch, but there is all the other features. Another amazing thing that Transit introduced was the perma perks. One thing I will say is that it's kind of sad that we never ended up getting the PhD perma perk in Transit, because, you know, obviously that was just unburied. And furthermore, it's really sad that we never had a dedicated PhD perk, because Lord knows of all maps I could use PhD, it was Transit, but for some reason we got it in Origins, where it's literally useless on that map. We also got it on Mob of the Dead Grief, which again, basically useless in that. Another awesome feature that Transit introduced was the bank. Granted, very few people that I know of actually ever really used the bank on Die Rise or Transit. Most of the time, most people were using it on Barry. Well, I did see a decent amount of people using it on Die Rise, but for the most part, it was really on Barry. But still, y'all gotta remember, this game came out in 2012, like, and this came out right after Black Ops 1, which was a relatively simple game in comparison to, like, a lot of the features and stuff that they introduced here. The sheer leap in features and game modes and innovations between Black Ops 1 and 2, sure, maybe not all the innovations panned out in the way that the developers or the community would have wanted, because the developers themselves have gone on record many times saying before, like, yeah, Transit isn't exactly what we wanted it to be. There was a lot of hardware limitations there. But regardless, I feel like we still gotta put some respect on not only Transit's name, but all of the innovations that came from or came as a result of Transit or came directly from it. Think of it this way, if it wasn't for Transit introducing buildables, which I know buildables technically did come earlier in Zombies if you go to something like, you know, 5 and Black Ops 1 with the trap and all that, but I'm talking on like a larger scale. If it wasn't for Transit introducing that, we may have never gotten the stabs, at least in the way that they are now, in Origins. With no buildables, there would be no ass again. We also wouldn't have the Ragnarok DG4s, nor would we have Zombie Shield. And to a certain extent, even though it's a little bit different, who knows? It's not exactly a buildable, but we may have never even seen, like, the Silver Protector and Shadows of Evil. Now, who knows? Maybe they would have thought up the buildables idea later. Obviously, I'm, like, half joking here, but also half not, because, again, Transit did introduce some of this stuff. The way I see it, a lot of the ideas, game modes, and all these other things that were introduced in Transit, it was one of those situations where Transit crawled, like, you know, they say, like, somebody walks so somebody else could run or whatever. No, Transit crawled. Transit was down on all fours, crawling, grasping, just begging for the community's love, so then other experiences later could full-on sprint. Just imagine if we could have been able to pack-a-punch the jet gun in Transit, and like, once you pack-a-punch it, it never broke. I feel like that in itself would have done so much to help out Transit. But anyway, I don't know. This video was not structured. I do not script my videos. I do not, you know, do anything with, like, notes or anything like that. I kind of just click record, and then I just sort of scramble brain, shoot out whatever's in my mind, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So who knows? There might be some things that I forgot to mention. I might have misphrased some things because my brain is working overtime right now, trying to, like, play K-Beam and commentate at the same time. Like, when I'm playing with controller and trying to talk, it's not that bad, but keyboard and mouse takes a bit more thought, because it's just, this ain't the way that I usually play. But hey, sometimes I just kind of eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and I'm like, hey, am I gonna record on my PS3, my 360, my Xbox, my PC? How we doing this today? And today I just kind of landed on PC, since I was kind of already over here doing some other work. But anyway, now I'd like to know your thoughts. Are you guys Transit lovers? Are you guys Transit haters? Do you agree with me in the fact that this map got way too much hate back in the day, which I feel like goes for a lot of Zombies maps? I feel like a lot of times the Zombies community just kind of gets on their weird little things or phases where they just kind of all start simultaneously dunking on an entire map. Whether it be for views, whether it's just because it's a popular opinion, that's not just the Zombies community. Like, I'm not dunking on the Zombies community directly, because that just goes to a lot of communities, whether it be in gaming or not. Like, even like movie communities or book community, like literally any community for anything, there's always going to be that thing where people just kind of all start talking smack about it or hating on it because that's a popular thing to do. But anyways, just whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear from you guys. But anyway, as always, massive shout out, thank you to all the patrons and channel members. Thank you to all in the low baller tier, number shout out, thank you to all in the mid baller tier, Miller last game, the dad, Maddie, the biggest shout, thanks to all in the G tier, run Avengers, and cheese girl. Thank you guys so much, guys. You're literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.